Picture this. The head of the FBI, a powerful figure in America's law enforcement, gets so furious about media coverage of his personal jet trip to cheer for his girlfriends singing at a wrestling event that he fires a long-serving official. It's like something out of a wild political drama, but it's happening right now, and it's stirring up heated debates about power, perks, and personal lives. Buckle up, because this story dives deep into agency drama, ethical questions, and more. But here's where it gets really intriguing. Is this just about accountability? Or is there a double standard at play? Let's start with the basics to make sure everyone follows along. A senior FBI official, Stephen Palmer, who had dedicated 27 years to the Bureau since joining in 1998, was reportedly dismissed by the agency. This happened after the FBI's director, Kash Patel, reacted strongly to news reports exposing his use of a government jet for a personal outing. Palmer was in charge of the FBI's Critical Incident Response Group. Think of this as the elite team that tackles major threats to national security, like responding to terrorist plots, active shooter incidents, or even natural disasters. They also manage the agency's fleet of airplanes, ensuring quick transport for urgent operations. For example, in a real-world scenario, this group might coordinate the rapid deployment of agents to a city under siege, or handle the logistics of jet travel during a crisis. Losing its leader could disrupt these vital functions, and it's concerning for anyone interested in public safety. Palmer's firing marks him as the third head of this group to be let go since Patel took over as FBI Director in the second Trump administration back in February. The first two, Wes Wheeler and Brian Driscoll, were ousted in March and August, respectively. Interestingly, Driscoll is now taking legal action against the administration, alleging he was unfairly targeted for not showing enough loyalty to the president. This pattern raises eyebrows about consistency in leadership changes. Is it about performance, or something more? The spark for Palmer's dismissal came from Patel's outrage over stories that surfaced about his jet travel. According to Bloomberg Law, which first reported the details, 3 anonymous sources were shocked by the decision, noting that Patel's flight schedules were openly available and easily traceable online via websites like FlightAware. Just a day after the event, Patel himself shared photos on X, formerly Twitter, showing him with his girlfriend, country singer Alexis Wilkins, proudly reposting them from another account. These images captured the moment after Wilkins performed the national anthem at a real American freestyle wrestling match. The reports Patel fumed over highlighted his use of the FBI jet for what some call a date night. Soon after, Palmer was given an ultimatum: resign immediately or face termination. The official firing took place on Friday. To add context, flight logs from FlightAware for Patel's plane, registered as N708JH, revealed it landed near Penn State on October 25. That evening, after Wilkins' performance, the jet headed to Nashville. But here's the twist that might surprise you. As of Sunday, those records for N708JH were no longer publicly accessible. Searching for the aircraft now brings up a message stating it's not available for public tracking per request from the owner-operator. This blocking adds a layer of mystery. Is it standard procedure for security, or a way to avoid further scrutiny? Patel hasn't personally commented on Bloomberg's report about Palmer's dismissal. However, his spokesperson, Ben Williamson, defended him in a detailed post on X, labeling the criticism as disingenuous and dumb and accusing critics of acting in bad faith. Williamson explained that government regulations require directors to reimburse part of the travel costs, and he claimed Patel has drastically cut back on personal trips compared to his predecessors, former directors Chris Wray and James Comey. He's entitled to occasional personal time to visit family, friends, or his longtime girlfriend, Williamson stated. This point sparks debate. If rules allow it and reimbursements are made, is it really a big deal? Or does it still feel like taxpayers footing the bill for personal indulgences? And this is the part most people miss. The irony here is thick. As the Daily Beast pointed out, Patel was once a vocal critic of Ray's use of government jets for personal reasons. Back in 2023, Patel slammed Ray on social media, calling him a #government gangster, and accusing him of jetting off on taxpayer dollars while supposedly failing to address the FBI's challenges. Fast forward to now, and critics are pointing fingers right back at Patel. It's a classic case of what psychologists call projection, accusing others of what you might do yourself. Does this make Patel a hypocrite? Or is he just following established norms like everyone else? Food for thought. Palmer's situation wasn't isolated. The initial tip-off about Patel's jet trip came from Kyle Seraphin, a former FBI agent who's become a sharp critic of the current administration. His podcast often lambastes FBI leadership, and in a recent episode, he railed against the outing. "We're in the middle of a government shutdown that's dragging into its 32nd day, and this guy is flying off to hang with his girlfriend in Nashville on our dime." This shutdown context amplifies the outrage, with federal workers potentially unpaid and services strained. Using resources for leisure seems tone-deaf at best. Seraphin's role as a whistleblower adds another layer. Is he a hero for holding power to account, or just a troublemaker with an agenda? In a separate storyline that's putting even more heat on Patel, a defense lawyer in Michigan is challenging the FBI director's claims about thwarting a Halloween terror plot. On Friday, Patel announced that 5 young men had been arrested for allegedly planning such an attack. But Amir Makled, the attorney representing one of them, reviewed the case and insists there was no real threat. He told Associated Press that Patel's statements amounted to hysteria and fearmongering. The 5 individuals, aged 16 to 20, are U.S. citizens and gamers, and Makled believes their activities were harmless. "I don't believe that there's anything illegal about any of the activity they were doing," he said. This raises big questions. Was this a genuine security win, or an exaggeration for political points? In a time of heightened awareness around terrorism, how do we discern real dangers from overstated ones? As we wrap this up, it's clear this saga touches on timeless debates: the perks of power, the ethics of government resource use, and the balance between public scrutiny and personal privacy. Is it hypocritical for Patel to criticize past leaders while using jets himself? Should officials' personal lives be off-limits, or does transparency demand we know how our tax dollars are spent? And in the Michigan case, are we seeing effective law enforcement, or alarmist tactics? These aren't just stories, they're conversations that shape how we view authority. What do you think? Do you side with the critics, or do you see Patel's side? Is this all blown out of proportion, or a necessary check on power? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take and spark some discussion.